The first hour of your day decides the direction of your destiny. And if you're waking up checking your phone instead of checking your purpose, you're already losing the battle before it begins. This line grabs attention fast, speaks truth to behavior, and immediately positions the speech as transformational. You can follow it with, "Let me show you 3 things you must do every single morning if you're serious about wealth, purpose, and legacy." Because successful people don't start their day with luck. They start with intention, discipline, and spiritual alignment. The very first moment you open your eyes in the morning is not just a biological event, it's a spiritual signal. You've been given another day, not because the alarm clock went off, but because purpose woke you up. And if purpose woke you up, then you better understand that you're still on assignment. So before you speak to the world, before you respond to messages, before you scroll through feeds or check your bank account, there's one connection that matters above all, and that is the connection to your Creator. You were designed by intention, not accident. And if the one who designed you has placed you in this day, then the first thing you should do is consult the designer. You don't turn on a device and expect it to function without first charging it. Yet most people wake up spiritually drained, emotionally scattered, and mentally fatigued before their day even begins, because they skip the most important conversation of the day. The moment you wake up is sacred, and if you're wise, you will treat it like sacrifice time. You will give the first fruits of your attention not to the world, but to the source of the world. Because when you speak to your Creator first, you are saying with your actions, "I'm not in charge of this day, you are." That act of humility becomes the foundation of dominion. When you start your day from a posture of alignment, you begin to attract divine acceleration. This is not about religion, this is about recognition. Recognition of who gave you breathe, recognition of who gave you strength, recognition that your day is not random and your breath is not casual. So when you begin with gratitude, when you begin with prayer, when you begin with focus on the Most High, your spirit takes command of your schedule. When you skip this, you live from the outside in. But when you start your day with your Creator, you live from the inside out. That means your circumstances no longer control your emotions. The economy doesn't dictate your energy. People's opinions don't define your confidence, because you already filled your cup with living water before they even had a chance to drain it. Most people are reacting all day long because they never set the tone in the first few minutes. They let the news decide their mindset. They let notifications decide their priorities. They let worry and fear set the rhythm. But a person of purpose knows better. You get quiet before your God because that stillness is what unlocks clarity. And clarity leads to bold, intentional action. You weren't created to beg life for blessings. You were created to partner with the giver of all good things. And when you speak to Him first, you remind your soul who you belong to and what you're capable of. Prayer is not a routine, it's a strategy. It's your daily war room. It's where you download wisdom, strength, vision, and peace. So, when you wake up tomorrow, don't let your thumb go to your phone. Let your soul go to your source. Don't chase what the world says is urgent. Seek what is eternal. Because when you speak to your Creator before the world speaks to you, you enter the day already filled, already covered, already focused. That's not just a better way to live, that's the only way to truly win. If you don't command your day will command you. And most people don't understand that. They wake up and they let life happen to them instead of happening through them. They roll out of bed and wait for something to tell them what matters today, the messages, the missed calls, the deadlines, the noise. But a person of purpose doesn't operate that way. A person of purpose wakes up and makes a declaration. This is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be intentional in it. You must speak into your day before your day starts speaking into you. That means you don't just hope it will go well. You decide it will. You set the tone, you build the frame, and then you walk boldly into what you've already declared. Life responds to intention. Heaven responds to faith, and both are ignited by your voice. When you wake up and your first words are complaints, confusion, or comparison, you're already giving away your authority. But when you wake up and speak life, when you declare direction, when you prophesy your productivity, now your mind, your body, your spirit, and even your circumstances begin to align with your assignment. You're no longer reacting to life, you're commanding it with purpose. Your mouth is not just a tool for communication, it's a weapon for creation. The power of life and death is in the tongue. So if you don't like what your life looks like, check what your language sounds like. You can't build a powerful day with powerless words. If you say, "Today's going to be stressful," don't be surprised when you feel pressure. But if you say, "Today I operate with peace, clarity, and divine energy," you're now walking in alignment with a higher reality. This is not positive thinking, this is kingdom thinking. This is commanding the day to reflect the favor, discipline, and authority already inside of you. You don't wait for peace, you speak it. You don't wait for clarity, you declare it. You don't wait for joy, you activate it. This is spiritual maturity. This is dominion thinking. And it's what separates champions from victims. Take a few minutes each morning, look in the mirror, and declare who you are, what you carry, and what today is going to produce. Say it even if you don't feel it. Say it until your emotions catch up. You are programming your mind to expect results. You are telling your environment that you are in control of your response. And where there's responsibility, there's responsibility. And where there's responsibility, there's transformation. The world is noisy, and it will try to pull you in 100 directions. But when you've already set your internal GPS, you don't get detoured by distractions. You already know where you're headed. You already told your mind what to focus on. You already reminded your spirit what matters. That's what it means to command your day. You own it before it owns you. And don't just speak what you want, speak from who you are. You are not a victim of pressure. You are not a slave to time. You are not waiting for permission to thrive. You've already been given dominion, and now it's time to walk like it. The sun may rise naturally, but your day rises spiritually the moment you open your mouth with conviction and call it what it shall be. So don't waste another morning wandering. Start speaking, start commanding, because when you start your day with direction, your destiny follows your voice. And everything else, stress, confusion, laziness, has to bow to the authority you've already released. Your mind is the battlefield where victory is won or lost, but your body is the gate that opens the fight. If you want to shift your mindset, you must first activate your body. And most people don't realize this truth. Motion creates emotion. When you move your body, you're not just exercising, you are energizing your purpose. There's a spiritual principle here. Stagnation in the body leads to stagnation in the mind. You can't expect clarity, focus, and dominion if you wake up and sit in the same chair all day, scrolling your way through someone else's success. Your physical posture reflects your internal posture. If your body is slouched, slow, and sleepy, don't be surprised when your thoughts are lazy, your faith is weak, and your spirit feels numb. You don't need a fancy gym. You don't need a personal trainer or designer workout clothes. You need discipline. You need the decision to tell your flesh, "You don't run me, I run you." That 5-minute walk, those 20 jumping jacks, those squats, those stretches, they're not just physical actions. They're declarations of self-mastery. You are telling your mind, we are not victims of mood. We are creators of momentum. Every time your heart beats faster, every time your muscles engage, every time your lungs expand with intentional breath, your brain begins to produce chemicals that support clarity, focus, and optimism. God designed your body to be a vessel of vitality, not a cage of complacency. Look at the most successful, purpose-driven people. They don't just feed their minds and spirits. They train their bodies because they understand that energy isn't something you wait for. Energy is something you generate. And when you generate energy physically, you show up to your goals with a full tank, not on fumes. The enemy loves lazy bodies because lazy bodies host sluggish minds, and sluggish minds can't build legacy. But when you discipline your body early in the morning, you send a message to your soul, I came to conquer. You remind yourself that purpose isn't passive. You don't drift into excellence, you show up for it. You stretch, you push, you sweat, not because it's easy, but because it activates the greatness that's already in you. Every rep, every step, every movement is telling your brain that today matters. You're not just going through the motions, you're becoming motion. Because motion is the proof of life. It is the evidence that you're still in the fight. So stop negotiating with your flesh. Your body doesn't need comfort, it needs leadership, and you are the leader. The discipline to move your body every morning is a seed. It might not feel powerful in the moment, but over time it compounds. You become sharper. You think faster. You speak bolder. You recover quicker. Because your physical body has now become a servant to your calling, not a barrier to it. And don't make it complicated. 10 minutes, one stretch, one push-up, one walk around your street with purpose in your step and vision in your eyes. It's not about performance. It's about preparation. Prepare your temple because you've got a mission. And missions require soldiers, not spectators. So tomorrow morning, don't hit snooze on your strength. Get up and move. Get up and breathe. Get up and sweat a little. Because when you move your body, you awaken your mind. And when your mind is awake, your spirit can go to work. And when your spirit is active, the enemy gets nervous. Because a person who masters their body is unstoppable in every other arena of life. Most people wake up every day and try to convince the world to give them what they want. They say things like, I want success, I want peace, I want wealth, I want influence. But what they don't realize is that you don't get what you want, you get who you are. Your results in life don't come from the desires in your heart. They come from the identity in your spirit. And if you never affirm who you are, your wants will always feel like wishes, never reality. You don't attract success by chasing it. You attract success by becoming the kind of person who carries it. And that begins with your words, not words of desperation, but words of declaration. Every morning, before you face your assignments, before you deal with people, before you try to conquer anything out there, you must remind yourself of who you are in here. You must speak it, declare it, own it even if your circumstances haven't caught up yet. Stop saying things like I hope I can, or I wish I was. That's the language of limitation. That's the vocabulary of people who never rise. Instead, begin to affirm the truth of your design. I am disciplined, I am focused, I am a builder, I am a steward of wealth, I am led by purpose, I walk in wisdom, I operate in divine timing, I not beg, I command through obedience and clarity. Why is this important? Because your subconscious mind is always listening. Your environment is responding to your energy. And your words, the reason most people never walk into what they desire is because they're chasing what they want without ever becoming the person who can carry it. They write goals, they make vision boards, they speak about success. But the problem is, They're speaking to the outcome, not from the identity. You don't build your life by wishing for things, you build it by becoming someone. And you don't become someone until you start affirming who you already are by divine design. Every morning you must wake up and remind your spirit who you are, not who you're trying to be, not who the world says you are, not who your failures suggest you are, but who you were created to be before the foundation of the earth. Because until your identity becomes bigger than your insecurity, you'll always shrink when pressure shows up. Affirming who you are is not arrogance, it's alignment. You're not pretending, you're prophesying. When you declare, I am focused, I am disciplined, I am a servant, leader, I am favored, I am chosen, I am trusted by God to manage greatness. You're not trying to convince the world. You're commanding your soul to remember what heaven already knows. See, people spend their mornings saying what they want. I want to be rich. I want to be free. I want to be productive. That sounds good, but it's weak if it's not tied to identity. Because when life gets tough, and it always will, what you want won't sustain you. Only who you are will carry you. If you don't anchor your actions in identity, you will live from emotion, and emotion is inconsistent. But identity is eternal. God never called you by what you wanted, He called you by who you are. He didn't say, you'll become a leader one day. He said, you are the head and not the tail. That's identity. He didn't say, I hope you'll find strength. He said, you are more than a conqueror. That's identity. And when you wake up and speak that out loud, you're not begging for strength, you're activating it. Most people affirm their desires, but they leave their design untouched. They say things like, I want a better life, but never declare, I am a better man. They say, I want a business, but never say, I am a builder. You will never rise higher than your self-perception. The mirror you hold up in your mind will shape the life you build with your hands. So every morning, before the noise, before the distractions, before you let the day shape you, you shape the day by declaring, with boldness and certainty, who you are. I am blessed. I am full of wisdom. I am filled with purpose. I am protected. I am a magnet for solutions. I am fruitful and faithful. I am consistent and creative. I am worthy of the calling I carry. And if no one else believes it, say it louder, because you're not convincing them. You're convicting yourself. You are not what you feel. You are not your past. You are not your doubts. You are what you repeatedly declare from a place of faith. And that declaration becomes the blueprint your spirit uses to build your future. Speak it daily. Don't just write affirmations, become affirmations. Let your life reflect the words you speak. Because when you affirm identity, you give your destiny permission to show up early. So stop chasing things, start becoming someone. Because when you affirm who you are, everything that belongs to you starts finding its way home. Your life will always move in the direction of your dominant thoughts. What you continually see in your mind, you eventually hold in your hands. The problem is, most people spend their mornings visualizing everything that could go wrong instead of imagining what could go right. They wake up rehearsing fear, anxiety, and pressure. They think about the debt. They think about what might not work. They run mental simulations of rejection, failure, and lack, and then wonder why those very things keep showing up. You can't build a future if your vision is infected with fear. Visualization is not fantasy, it's focus. It is a tool for the mature, not an escape for the weak. When you wake up and deliberately see the outcome you expect, not the obstacle you fear, you are positioning your mind to operate from faith, not survival. And that shift changes everything, because the mind is a magnet. It pulls toward it the circumstances that match its frequency. And if your frequency is fear, you'll find evidence of fear everywhere. But if your frequency is faith, results begin to align with your vision. Stop using your imagination to relive pain and predict problems. Start using it to preview victory. Your imagination is one of the most powerful spiritual tools you possess. It's not there so you can escape life. It's there so you can shape it. God gave you the ability to see the unseen so you could begin building what doesn't exist yet. But if the only thing you see is what you're afraid of, then the enemy doesn't need to defeat you. He just needs to keep you distracted. Every morning, you must close your eyes and see it. See yourself walking into the meeting with confidence. See yourself completing the assignment. See the phone call going well. See the business expanding. See your family united. See yourself healthy. See yourself surrounded by peace. Feel the success. Smell the environment. Engage every sense until your spirit starts to believe what your eyes can't yet see. That's not delusion. That's dominion. That's what it looks like to call things that are not as though they already were. You don't get what you visualize once. You get what you see consistently. That's why repetition matters. Visualization must be daily, deliberate, and detailed. Don't just think, I want to be successful. See the numbers. Hear the conversations. Picture the systems. Imagine the celebrations. The more real it becomes in your mind, the faster it begins to manifest in your world. Because your mind begins to notice resources, relationships, and opportunities that match the picture you've already painted internally. If you keep seeing yourself as tired, behind, and stuck, that's the script you'll live. But if you wake up every morning and feed your mind a vision of victory, a picture of power, an image of excellence, you are loading your day with focus, fuel, and fire. And that's the kind of energy results respond to. Most people don't have a vision problem, they have a fear focus. They don't know how to see without seeing the worst case scenario. But if you want to win, you must practice seeing the best case outcome even before there's evidence. That's the mindset of a builder. That's the language of faith. That's the habit of champions. So tomorrow when you wake up, close your eyes. Don't just roll into the day. Take 10 minutes. Disconnect from the noise and see what you expect. Let the picture of promise be so clear that nothing in your day can distract you from it. Because what you continually visualize, you eventually realize. Not because it's magic, but because it's mental mastery. And mental mastery is the soil where real success grows. The first hour of your day is not just another 60 minutes. It's the most sacred real estate in your entire schedule. What you do with that first hour determines what the rest of the day will return to you. But here's the difference between those who rise and those who repeat. Successful people invest the first hour. Unsuccessful people spend it. Most people wake up and immediately go into consumption mode. They reach for their phones, scroll through social media, read messages, open emails, all before they've taken a single step. And without realizing it, they've already surrendered their mental territory to the outside world. Their energy is scattered. Their thoughts are hijacked. Their spirit is reactive. Why? Because they didn't invest. They just spent. Spending your first hour is easy. It's what the average person does. But if you want to live a life of discipline, wealth, focus, and divine alignment, you must be willing to do what average people won't. Invest with intention. That means the moment you rise, you treat your time like a seed. You don't waste it on noise. You plant it with purpose. Investing the first hour looks different depending on your calling. But the principles never change. You invest it in your spirit, through prayer, gratitude, reflection, silence, or scripture. You invest it in your mind through reading, learning, journaling, or listening to something that elevates your thinking. You invest it in your body through movement, stretching, deep breathing, or exercise.
同学的关系
You don't let the world decide
特别
what
是这
comes
次
into
期
you.
中考试，
You decide what goes
以
out
前呢
from
是
you.
6。
This hour is the hour where you don't just
他
prepare
是在
your
去年
to-do
年末
list.
进入近思学
You
习的，
prepare
经
your
过一个
heart,
阶段
you
训练，
align
现
your
在有了
thoughts,
不错的
you
进步。以
prioritize
前
your
呢做作业
vision.
拖拉，学习兴
Because
趣
if
不
the
高，也
first
不爱与
hour
人
is
沟
off
通，
track,
不善于表达自己
everything
的
else
情绪，
becomes
不
chaotic.
顺心呢就发
But
脾
when the
气。
first
现
hour
在
is
呢，
filled
上
with
课的注意力、
clarity,
个人的记忆力
direction,
还有沟通能力
energy,
都有了
and
提高，
connection,
在学校和老
you've
师同学
already
的关系
won
也好了很
before
多。
you even leave
特别
the
啊是
house.
这次期中
It's
考
not
试，
about the clock, it's about
以
the
前呢是
quality
6
of your presence. 10 minutes of focused
他
reflection
是在
is
去
more
年年末进
valuable
入
than
近
an
思学
hour
习的，
of
经过一
passive
个阶段训
scrolling.
练，现在
And
也有
don't
不错
say
的
you
进步。
don't have
以前呢
time.
做作业拖拉，
You
学
have
习兴趣
time,
不高，也
it's
不爱
just
与人
being
沟通，不
stolen
善
by
于表达自己的情
distractions.
绪。不顺心
When
呢就发
something
脾
matters
气。
to you,
现在
you
呢，
don't
上课的
find
注意力、
time.
个人的纪律
You
性还有
make
沟通能力
time,
都有了提高。
you wake
在
up
学校和
earlier,
老师同学的关
you
系也
cut
好
out
了很多。
noise,
特
you
别啊是这
protect
次
your
期中
mornings
考
like your
试，
future depends on
以
it,
前呢是6。
because it does. The first hour is where
他是
legacy
在去年
begins.
年末进入
It's
近思
where
学习的，
million
经过一个阶
dollar
段训练，
ideas
现
are
在也有不
birthed.
错的进步。
It's where
以前呢做作
confidence
业
is
拖拉，
built.
学习兴趣不高，
It's
也不
where
爱与人沟
distractions
通，
are
不善于表达
rejected.
自己的情绪。
It's where
不
your
顺心呢
soul
就发
gets
脾
fed
气。
before the
现在
world
呢，
tries
上
to
课的注
starve
意力、
it.
个人的纪律
You
性
weren't
还有沟
called
通
to
能力
live
都有
on
了提高。
leftovers.
在学校和老
So
师同
why
学的
give
关
the
系
best
也好
part
了
of
很
your
多。
day to
特别啊
things
是这
that
次
don't
期中
build
考
you?
试，
The difference between a
以前呢
man
是
who
6。
lives with momentum and a man who lives with regret
他
is
是在
often
去年
hidden
年
in
末
the
进入
first
近思
hour.
学习的，经过一个
Because
阶
the
段训
first
练，
hour
现在
is
也
a
有不错
mirror.
的进步。
It
以前呢
reflects
做作业
what
拖
you
拉，学习
value
兴趣不
most.
高，也不爱与人
It
沟
tells
通，
the
不善于
truth
表达
about
自己
your
的情绪。
priorities.
不顺心呢
And
就
if
发
you
脾气。
consistently
现
invest
在
it in
呢，
the
上
right
课的注意
things,
力、个
the
人的记忆
return
性
will
还有
be
沟通能力都
undeniable.
有了提高。在学
Don't
校和
treat
老
your
师同学
mornings
的关系也
casually.
好了很多。
They are not
特
neutral.
别啊是这次期
They are
中考
either
试，
sowing for your future
以
or
前呢是
setting
6。
you up for frustration. You don't need to spend your mornings reacting. You need to own them, claim them, and invest in them like you're building something that matters because you are. So, tomorrow morning, ask yourself, am I spending this hour like everyone else? Or am I investing it like someone with purpose, vision, and divine assignment? Because when you invest the first hour, the rest of your day starts working for you, not against you. And that's how you begin to multiply not just your time, but your entire life. If you win the morning, you don't just win the day, you win your future. Because the world doesn't reward people. React, it rewards those who command, who create, who lead, starting before the world even wakes up. So tomorrow morning, don't just rise, rule. Don't just move, advance. Don't just survive the day. Set it on fire with purpose. The difference between where you are and where you're called to be might just be what you do in the first hour of your morning. And now you know exactly what to do.